Hey guys, today we're going to talk about a little bit of a different loose leash walking technique that combines some of what I've been teaching for years and also a little bit of a concept taught to me by Tyler Muto, which is the walk behind leash walking technique. So what I'm going to focus on with Gouda today is her body placement in relation to me. And that means that she has to be behind me, not even next to me and certainly not ahead of me, but behind me when we're walking. If she starts to cross in front of me, I could use a quick leash correction to catch her before she gets ahead of me. But even better, I want to use my body language by turning and stepping into her, just like that. You saw her say, "Whoa, Laura, what's that about?" And I got into her bubble and used my body language to tell her, "Nope, you're too close, or you're starting to get ahead of me, and that's not okay." So when we're walking around here, you want to keep an eye out for your dog getting ahead of you, and you're just going to step into them and say, "Nope, like you got to hang out behind me there, kiddo. You don't get to cut in front of me." This works for cats as well. They do respond to body language. Some ways similar to dogs, but definitely to us enforcing our space with them. But here in this walk behind method, I'm actually going to give Gouda a little more freedom to move around behind me. I just want her behind me. I don't want her to necessarily worry so much about hanging out right there, right on my right side here, like I often do with dogs that I walk in the city. She has a little more freedom to hang out as long as it's straight up behind me and not next to me, not ahead of me. But I'm always going to ask for that auto sit when we stop. It's just safer when I'm at a crosswalk or something like that to get a sit or a down from her. And remember, I don't say sit for auto sit. I just let them settle into that sit or that down on their own, or use a little bit of leash pressure to get them there. Now, the thing with the walk behind method that Tyler teaches is that behind is actually a relative term. If I see something, or really if Gouda sees something that she perceives as a threat, I want her to get behind me in relation to that thing. This is going to be really helpful for us when we're out on a hike or in an area where I've seen off-leash dogs before, because if an off-leash dog comes running up from behind, I'm actually going to allow Gouda to get what looks like in front of me. She's going to get on this side of my body, but she's actually saying, "Whoa, Laura, I'm freaked out. I'm going to go behind you and let you deal with this threat, and I don't have to deal with it then. I can trust you, Laura, to keep me safe from this." So that's a little bit of the difference from how I've historically taught leash walking. Now we're going to start using our body language a little bit more, because let's be honest, dogs take a lot more naturally to body language communication than they do to leash communication. So if we do see a perceived threat coming our way, it doesn't matter if it's a threat to me or not, maybe a little bit if it's an actual threat. But if it's a perceived threat to Gouda, whether it's an actual threat or not, I want her to put herself behind me in relation to that threat. And so that might mean if there's a dog coming at us from this way, she does move over a little bit to that side. But as long as she's behind me and not trying to cross in between my legs or get any crazy things going on there where I'm going to be, tipped over or tripped, it's actually good for her to adjust to that and trust me, give me that position of leadership and say, "All right, Laura, you take this dog. Let me know if it's safe or not." If she hangs out back here over on this side of me, I'm able to just block her from that other dog without me having to worry about moving so much. Okay, come on, Gouda. So we're going to walk around a little bit again, and just remember, if your dog is getting ahead of you, you can use that physical body language, and you'll hear my verbal corrector as well. I like to put that one out there, but you could also use a little bit of a tug backwards on the leash if your dog starts to get ahead of you as well. But here, I don't have to worry so much about what Gouda's doing back there. As long as she's hanging out behind me, not a big deal. Just saying, "All right, you hang out back there." And so now you'll see she's actually adjusting to really walk almost right behind me when I do those corrections, because if she starts getting next to me, she's like, that's uncomfortable. Good. And look at her moving right back there behind me and saying, all right, Laura, I trust you. You take that lead when we're on our walk. And we're still learning this one. She's still doing a good job with it. But I'm literally just introducing this to Gouda in real time. Good, okay. And there I gave her a treat, tossed one over there, and she went searching for it. And that's a technique that you'll see us use in the next video as well, when we talk about, pardon me, walking past other animals, so that we can make sure that we're keeping our dogs nice and calm and relaxed on leash. And now look at the, well, Gouda, look at this dog. I was just going to say, what a nice slack leash. I don't have to worry about it. Did she get up? Yes, I was able to quickly replace her. But you can see she's relaxed. She's calm. She's not freaking out so much about where she is. And I'm not worrying so much about, is she a little bit ahead of me? Is she a little bit behind me? I do want her fully behind me here, and I'm going to use my body language to enforce that just as much, if not more, than the leash. And this is going to help us, especially when we're walking past distractions that are difficult for your dog, or things that your dog or cat perceives as a threat. Something that is commonly perceived as a threat by a lot of animals is another animal. For cats, sometimes it's a jogger or just something spooky they haven't seen before. There's all sorts of things that you know your pet has reacted to. And this is going to help them to let you take the leadership role, position themselves behind you relative to that threat, and that way we can help them stay calm and not panic, because they know that their leash handler has control of the situation and they don't need to take it into their own paws.